What if you were a small-time backyard magician on Halloween night and decided to go out for some candy? Unfortunately, your path crosses with the Jester, a magical clown who kills people just for fun. And yeah, it doesn't take long for that creep to add you to his hit list. What would you do in that situation? That's the story of the Jester 2, the last movie I ever thought I'd cover on this channel, mostly because the first one is one of the films I hate most on planet Earth. Today's video is all about breaking down this plot, trying to make sense of whatever the hell is going on here, and giving you the best tips on how to beat this supernatural clown. Before we start the show, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the Jester 3 when it drops, and pull a like out of your hat while you're at it. The movie kicks off at a college party. That's where we meet Eric, a dude with a resting jerk face whose dream is to lock lips with Ava, one of those classic popular girl types. His big plan gets totally wrecked by his own friends, who roast him mercilessly. That's the last straw for Eric, who decides a shot of liquid courage might help him score with Ava. The problem? She's into athletes. And right on cue, Connor shows up in his fancy truck and instantly becomes her latest crush. Frustrated, Eric goes to take a leak when he spots a random box on the floor. Out of nowhere, the Jester crawls out of it and yanks part of his mask off. The creepy clown acts all cool, introduces himself to Eric, and joins the party, impressing everyone with magic tricks using the rejected guy as his assistant. Then, poof, the Jester makes Eric disappear right in front of everyone. Meanwhile, Ava is blindfolded, having fun hitting what she thinks is a piñata. Too bad the Jester swaps the dummy for Eric's body, tying him to a tree so Ava ends up beating him without realizing it. When the blindfold comes off, chaos breaks loose. Everyone freaks out and runs for their lives. You'd think one of his so-called friends could at least lift Eric up so he wouldn't choke on the rope, but nope. Maybe they could have saved him with some CPR, since Ava's hits weren't even that hard. But nah, nobody does a damn thing.
Who cares?
In another part of town, we meet Max, a 15-year-old girl who refuses to grow up. Instead of cheap booze and vapes, she's into magic cards, trying to learn some Houdini tricks. She even dresses for the part, ready to go trick-or-treating with her little sister. That's when their mom says Max is too old for that, and tells her she ain't gonna play. Mom suggests she hang out with her friends instead, and the little sister straight up exposes her. Max doesn't have any. After Mom and Sis leave to enjoy Halloween, Max decides to sneak out anyway, which of course turns out to be a terrible idea. Meanwhile, we see some random guy limping through the streets. He's running from the Jester, who teleports right next to him, cuffs his hands with magic, pulls a bunch of scarves from his mouth, and then kills him for good measure. For some reason, the Jester grabs a candle and burns a playing card. At the same time, Max is trying to blend in with other teens. She stops by a diner and gets all hard-eyed over a waiter named Darren. He takes her order and recognizes her from trigonometry class. Seriously, are we supposed to believe this guy is 15? No way. Dude looks like he's been paying bills for years. And Darren mentions that Max is super quiet and never talks to anyone, and she doesn't really have an answer for that. She orders a cheeseburger, and Darren loudly calls out, "One deluxe burger for the bargain bin magician," earning laughs from the mean girls at another table. Then, out of nowhere, the Jester sits across from Max and starts performing a card trick. The funny thing is, Max immediately figures out the illusion and calls him out, kind of teasing him for messing up. She compliments his glove work and offers to show him a trick of her own. Somehow, Max pulls off the Jumping Gemini, a move that multiplies the cards until she's holding 4 aces. The Jester is completely fooled. Turns out he didn't know that trick, and storms off furious. When Max leaves the diner, she finds out one of the popular dudes from the other table bent her bike tire. And seriously, how does a guy that ugly end up in the popular crowd anyway? Cut to 3 random teens hanging out when they run into the Jester. He tries doing a card trick 3 times and fails miserably every single one, which makes them start laughing at him. That's when the Jester realizes Max humiliating him gave him a full-blown identity crisis, so he takes it out on those 2 teens, killing them in delightfully gruesome ways. He lets the girl escape and burns another card. Meanwhile, Max takes her broken bike to Willie, an illusionist who taught her everything she knows about magic. As usual, Max starts venting, saying the kids at school won't stop making fun of her. Willie tells her she's extraordinary, and that none of those idiots could ever do what she does with a magic wand. Not sure what that has to do with her problem, but sure, why not? Then Willie notices she's accidentally locked a handcuff around her wrists. When he goes to grab the key, Max already freed herself. She'd pickpocketed the key from his pocket without him even noticing. On her way out, Max runs straight into the Jester again. Only this time, he's not mad. He looks happy. The Jester points at the guy who messed up Max's bike earlier. You know, the weasel-faced dude trying to hook up with one of the popular girls, even though she's clearly not into him. The evil magician yanks the guy's pants down, revealing a whole lot less than anyone wanted to see. The dude runs off in pure shame, while the Jester and Max burst out laughing at the harmless bullying session. The clown convinces Max to join him for a little trick-or-treating. They knock on a lady's door, and Max performs a quick magic trick for her. The woman loves the free show, until the Jester waves his wand in her face and makes her eyes, nose, and mouth vanish completely. She suffocates right there, crossing over to the afterlife while Max nearly craps herself and pedals away as fast as she can. The Jester burns another card and goes after her. He teleports right in front of her bike, forcing Max to ditch it and run. She bumps into a dad walking with his 2 kids, but the Jester makes one of the boys trip, causing enough chaos for Max to slip away and hide inside a trash can. Not that it helps. The Jester drags her down from below and hauls her into the creepy forest from the beginning of the movie. Since the Jester can't talk, he uses Eric's expired body as a puppet to speak through, and that's when the movie drops its big revelation, which I'll try to explain, even though it barely makes sense. The Jester says he's not going to kill Max because he needs her help.
Really?
He thinks she's the perfect candidate since she's just like him. Back when he was alive, the Jester didn't have any friends either. Then one day, everything changed. The devil himself showed up at his door to collect his soul, but the magician hated the heat and had zero plans to move to hell. Instead, he tried to outsmart Old Scratch. The deal was simple: his soul versus a magic trick. If he could fool the devil, he could keep his soul, and somehow he pulled it off. But of course, he didn't read the fine print. Turns out the devil added a special clause. Every Halloween, the Jester had to trick and kill 4 souls before his candle burned out. Only then would the devil honor the deal and let him stay alive. The Jester is totally upfront about it with Max, admitting that not all his victims were sacrifices. Some were just for fun. Then comes the real bad news. Since Max managed to outsmart the guy who outsmarted the devil, now the only sacrifices that count are the ones she personally chooses and deceives with her own magic tricks.
What?
Which makes absolutely zero sense. If that's the case, why the hell did he burn 2 cards after meeting Max at the diner? Anyway, Max obviously refuses to be part of his Halloween bloodbath, but the Jester shows her some kind of creepy book that supposedly proves if she doesn't go along with it, he'll suffer for eternity, and she'll inherit his curse. This movie seriously makes no sense whatsoever. Max could have used her brain to beat the Jester right there. The guy's literally a con artist, a being made to deceive. He could have been lying through his painted teeth. She could have just called his bluff and let the candle burn out. If she was lucky, the Jester would have gone straight to hell, and Max wouldn't have to sacrifice anyone. After all, she never met Lucifer, and she sure as hell didn't sign any demonic contract. But of course not. Max falls for his smooth talk like a total rookie, and off they go together, the new dynamic duo of death, hunting for their next victim. Here she spots the same weasel-faced guy sitting alone on a bench and picks him as the next offering. She starts performing a magic trick with cards, but midway through the guy apologizes and admits he was only trying to impress the popular girl. That makes Max hesitate. She decides to call off the dark plan. Unfortunately, the guy insists she finish the trick and grabs a card before she can stop him. He's amazed by her magic, which basically signs his death warrant. The Jester wraps the guy's jacket around him and squeezes until his torso folds like a ballerina's waist, dead in seconds. While he's distracted, Max uses her pickpocket skills to snag Eric's phone and call the cops. 2 officers trace the call and one tries to cuff the Jester, but the clown flips it on him and cuffs the officer instead. The cuffs tighten until his hands literally pop off.
Damn!
His partner shoots the Jester, but of course bullets don't do squat. The clown plugs the barrel with magic, making the bullet bounce back into her face. The distraction gives Max just enough time to escape and flag down a guy from an antique shop for help. The man offers her a ride to the police station, but then he starts asking super creepy questions like, why do you have a boy's name? And why are you dressed like that? Yeah, it's obvious this guy is not planning anything good. He stops the car in the middle of nowhere and tries to make a move, but Max bites his hand and fights back. Just as he's about to get violent, the Jester shows up and saves her in his own bloody way by turning the guy into a human smoothie. The near assault sends Max into a full-blown asthma attack, and the Jester notices her inhaler is busted. He rushes her to a fire station, where the firefighters manage to bring her back, but the Jester doesn't thank them. Instead, he smacks one of the firefighters so hard his eyes literally pop out of his skull. Another firefighter disappears thanks to one of the Jester's tricks, and the last one standing tries to attack him with an axe. But the clown teleports the missing firefighter back, now holding the axe blade jammed straight through his body. The third guy doesn't last long either. The Jester literally pulls out his intestines, and not in a way that would help with constipation. That's when Max goes full teen rebellion mode. She tells the Jester she'd rather watch him suffer and refuses to make the fourth and final offering to the devil. The clown doesn't take that well. He cuffs her wrists, but it's pointless because she instantly escapes and runs off. She heads home and finds her mom there, worried sick since Max hadn't been in touch all night. Max tells her she loves her, but mom's exhausted and just tells her to go to bed. Then Max notices something's off. Mom's acting weird. Turns out the Jester already paid their house a visit and killed her. The clown materializes in Max's little sister's room and threatens to send the kids straight to the afterlife if Max doesn't agree to help him finish the final offering. Max reluctantly agrees, but only if he promises not to hurt her sister. Of course, he's pure evil and just laughs it off, saying he'll only give Max what he wants. Their last target of the night is Darren, who's just clocking out from work when he runs into Max and the Jester. Max offers to show him a magic trick, and seriously, picture this. You're tired, ready to go home, and suddenly this freaky clown is staring at you, holding a red candle covered in nails. In what world would you say yes to that? Yeah! Any sane person would hop in their car and drive straight home, but no, not this guy. That alone would probably ruin the whole movie's premise, but whatever. Darren agrees to play along and draws the ace of spades from the deck. The Jester watches closely from behind him, waiting. That's when Max reminds the clown that he said the sacrifices only count if he's watching her magic trick. She walks up to him and pulls the ace of spades out of his jacket pocket, revealing the big twist. The chosen target wasn't Darren at all, it was the Jester himself. The idiot never saw it coming. In a quick flashback, we see that Max had slipped that same card into his jacket back when he threatened to kill her sister.
What an idiot!
Furious, the Jester lunges at her. Darren jumps in front to protect her, but one touch from the clown makes the guy's mouth and nose vanish right off his face. As the Jester moves in to finish Max, the candle finally burns out, sending his soul straight down to hell. His hands and legs crumble into dust, flames rise from the ground, and the court Jester gets turned into a flaming barbecue special. Before Darren suffocates, Max grabs the Jester's knife and slices open a makeshift mouth for him, saving his life by a hair. Then we cut to Willie arriving at Max's house as paramedics carry out her mom's body. Max tells him she finally nailed the magic trick, but suddenly she starts repeating 4 tricks, 4 souls every year. The camera pans to the Jester's top hat sitting by the door, hinting that Max just inherited his crispy little curse. Wait a minute, if she offered up the Jester's soul, that means the devil got exactly what he wanted when he made that deal. Plus, 4 souls were already delivered, so shouldn't that free Max from the whole infernal gig? Why the hell is she still on the hook? The Jester 2 didn't exactly set the world on fire. Critics and audiences gave it low scores, but it still did better than the first one, I'll admit. At least this sequel has a hint of a story, even if the plot's full of holes big enough to drive a truck through. The direction is still amateur hour, and most of the actors look like they just graduated from high school drama club. And on the bright side, the kills are solid, and the lead actress does a decent job. In the end, the Jester himself is the real star of this franchise. Maybe he'll even become the next Art the Clown from Terrifier. With that said, my final score is a 5 out of 10. The movie had a super limited 2-day theatrical run and made about $140,000. No word yet on the budget, so who knows? Maybe it made enough to justify a Jester 3. If you want to see that masterpiece covered here, drop a comment saying, I'm in. Follow us on social media and don't click away yet, because in 10 seconds, the Clown Movies playlist is popping up, with over 10 freaky flicks just like this one. The total body count for the Jester 2 is 13 kills, and the body bag award goes to the lady who lost her face. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I see you on the next video, and bye!